Hello? CAA? A complaint? What? G'day! Right now, I'm flying my drone. I'm here in New Zealand. This video is especially for my New Zealand viewers, both of you. And the reason I'm flying my drone is because I need to tell you a few things about flying your drone during the lockdown. I just land this thing first, so we'll keep things safe. I don't need to be distracted while I'm flying that. Now, hang on, I'll just unplug it because it's also beeping away. So here's my drone. This is the drone I've been flying. And as you can see, it is a tiny drone. This weighs about 220 grams, all ready to go. I'll just unplug it because, as I say, we don't need this beeping and carrying on. The reason I'm making this video is I got a phone call from CAA earlier this week. Now, I'm not your average drone flyer. I'm pretty high profile, and CAA know who I am. And somebody had complained about one of the videos I'd posted of me flying my drones during the lockdown. Now, CAA basically just rang to find out what the story was, and they confirmed what I already knew, is that you can fly your drones over your own property during this lockdown. But you've got to be careful if you're in a suburban environment like this, and you can't be peeking over the fence at the neighbours. It requires a bit of common sense. You really do need to consider others if you're flying your drone in your own property. You can't fly your drone over other people's property without their permission. And under these lockdown situations, it's not a good idea to do that anyway, because if your drone has a problem and falls into someone's backyard, well, you've just burst someone's bubble. So really keep it in your own area where you can get easy access to it if you have to land it unexpectedly or if it falls out of the sky, because sometimes it happens. Sometimes things don't always go to plan. So that's also why you can't fly in parks and reserves. Most councils have closed their parks and reserves, and the CAA advisory or the regulations have said you can't fly in public places like that. So for the same reason, if your drone falls out of the sky and some kid walks over and picks it up, well, you could have the virus, or you could be spreading it. So it really is just common sense in so many ways. Now, people have asked, well, what about you? I've seen you flying in your videos. And yes, but what I've been doing most of my videos, I've been going straight up and sort of pirouetting around to get a view of the local area. And I've been keeping the locals updated with that. A lot of people locked down, they want to see what's happening outside away from their houses. I'm able to do that. I can get panoramic views of the town in which I live, and lovely sunsets and sunrises. And it's a way of keeping people happy and informed and distracted during these times. So it's gone down pretty well with the community. The community are quite happy with what I'm doing. There's no issues of privacy. That's all been debated, and we've resolved that, sorted out. And it's just a service I'm doing for the local community. But I am very privileged because I'm in an unusual situation. Over the back fence here, I've got a lake. And I did the risk analysis. I said, well, if I'm flying my drone over a lake and something goes wrong and it falls in the water, it's not endangering anybody. And I'm going to lose my drone. These are not cheap. These are not cheap. So that's the risk I'm taking. It's a risk I'm taking, but I'm not endangering anybody in the process. So we discussed this with me, and they said, well, yeah, okay, we've got no real issues with what you're doing, but, and this is the big thing, we don't want people trying to copy you. We don't want people trying to emulate you, because they may not be in the same position. They may not have a big lake over the back. They may be flying over neighbours' property without permission. And so it's not a good idea for people to do that. And I fully support CAA in that position. As I say, I've been flying model aircraft for half a century, and I've been flying drones for over 10 years. So I have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. If you're new to this channel, you can check it out. There's a lot of stuff about radio controlled models on this channel. My channel basically services an audience around the world, telling them how to build these things, how to fly them safely, and how to choose the right one. So yeah, I'm probably a professional grade drone operator. Also, another thing to notice here, I'm not using a Phantom. I'm not using a Mavic. I'm using tiny, tiny drones. These weigh 200 grams. 200 grams. In some countries like Canada, there aren't even any prescriptive rules about drones this small. I've deliberately chosen to use tiny, tiny drones, because if something goes wrong and they fall out of the sky, this falls on your head, it's not going to kill you. And example, if something else goes wrong and let's just say a really long bow to draw, but if an aeroplane came along, these things are far less likely to cause an issue than a bigger, heavier drone. Also, these don't have GPS. They don't have GPS, so they're not as likely to take off on their own. If something goes wrong with these things, they just fall from the sky. So I make sure I'm flying in areas where if they do fall from the sky, they're not going to either hurt anybody, and I'm going to either be able to retrieve it, or they're going to disappear forever, such as if they fall in the lake at the back here. So yeah, I fully support CAA in their position. Don't fly your drones anywhere but on your own property, and don't fly them in a way that jeopardises other people's privacy, because if you're in a suburban environment over the backyard, your neighbours could be sunbathing. They don't want your drone hovering around. Even if you're not looking at them, they're still going to be concerned. So you need to do all those things. And ultimately, remember, just treat everybody as if they have the virus, and treat yourself as if you have it. You don't want to spread it, you don't want to get it. That's what you do. So yeah, it may be annoying that you've got these toys and you want to play with them, but hey, this is only for a short time. And there are a lot of other people with their hobbies who can't enjoy them either. And people aren't playing golf, people aren't fishing, people aren't surfing. Everybody has to take a hit on this lockdown. So yeah, fly them around your backyard, fly them low. I've got a tiny little drone. Hang on, I'll just get it for you. Excuse me while I walk right through shot here. Ooh, and I'll show you my tiny little drone. Here it is. If you're not familiar, this is what's called a tiny whoop. It's a very, very small drone. Has a little camera on it. I fly it with goggles on. Here's a bit of footage of me flying around the backyard. As you can see, it's very fast, it's very aerobatic, but I can do it all within the confines of my tiny little backyard. So these little tiny drones, you can fly them inside. It's brilliant. So if you want to prepare for the next lockdown, get yourself one of these, learn to fly it, and have a ball without even leaving the living room. But that's it. Yeah, I just wanted to make this video just to clarify things. I'll put a link in the description of this video to the CAA announcement, which tells you what you can and can't do, gives you all the strictness of the rules. And as I say, bottom line is, it's all about safety. It's not about rules, it's about safety. So even if you're technically allowed to do something, think about it. If that could put anybody or anybody's property in jeopardy, don't do it. It's simple, it's common sense. Treat other people as you'd like them to treat you, and always put safety first. There you go. That's my message for today. And I'd like to thank CAA for reminding me to remind you that these things are important. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.